All right guys, welcome back. This is Steve with LRM. Today we're gonna talk about, your starter not churning or truck not turning over, right? So I got a comment that was left. The guy has a T680, can't get his truck to start, he doesn't hear a clicking noise. So we're gonna talk about a few things, right? Let's talk about the basic thing. You're gonna think this is silly, but believe it or not, I've actually seen it several times where in an automatic, the switch is not in the neutral position. It happens, all right? So first things first, let's make sure it's in the neutral. If you do have it in the neutral position, great. Next step, batteries. Let's check our batteries. Make sure that on the dash we're at least reading 12 volts. Anything below that, your truck ain't gonna start. And then also double check your cables. You go to the batteries, make sure everything's nice and tight. If you see some corrosion, like it looks green or maybe cocaine on it, like the white powder stuff, let's wash it off or sniff it up. No, whatever you guys want. So once you make sure the battery cables are nice and tight and no, substance on the batteries, and you have good power, now the next step, let's move over to the starter. Let's make sure that the cables are tight, right? The ground and the positive. Positive is usually the red one, unless someone's messing with you, and the ground one's the black one. And if it's not, someone's messing with you. Either way, the ground should always go usually from the starter right to the frame. Good thing that it's a ground. The red cable, you'll see it'll be on the top part, it should go all the way back. Just make sure that the cables are nice and tight, grab a hold of it, wiggle it. Sometimes I've seen where the post for the positive may have broke, or maybe the ground one. Because if it is and it wiggles, now you know there's the problem. You have a starter problem. Now if you have a multimeter, which you're gonna need one, put it on the positive ground. You should be reading 12 volts as the same as what it reads over to the battery. If you don't, right, then there's a problem with the cable that travels from the battery to your starter. Then we need to fix that problem before you move any further, because the truck, again, won't start. Now, one more thing. You're gonna need a buddy, boyfriend, girlfriend, a mistress, whatever. You get them in the truck, you have them turn it over, and there's gonna be a signal wire. What you wanna see is that bad boy to light up 12 volts. Or what you could do is get a test light. Remember guys, I did one before not long ago. You put the one end on the ground and then on the signal wire. When that person turns it over in the ignition, if it lights up, then you know you have a signal going to the starter and it should turn over. Now, if you don't and it doesn't come on, aha, eureka, there's the problem. Only problem is that now you need a technician to trace down that wire where to see the problem is. Now we have seen on a Freightliner Cascadia, when someone does an oil pan gasket, they pinch that wire over there in the corner, double check that spot. T680 on the other hand, you could trace the wire far back, just make sure it's not broken, the cable end is not just loose or just came out of the area. So just double check that spot, because if it's still good, tight, and you can see that most of the electrical wire is good, then you really do need to find a technician to determine if it's a broken wire, if it's the ignition, because they're gonna have to back probe and also, pull out the wire schematics to see to and from where we're missing the signal. But if you guys have a signal and everything looks good, again, starter. Out of all those things that you guys done, this is what we can do as a driver to determine, on your own, so you don't have to get a technician to go that far. Once you've gone that far and everything you've done is correct, and let's just say the neutral is on the where it needs to be, you could still have a problem where you have it in neutral, but the computer itself doesn't read it. And that's the reason why I would say you need a technician, because technically the truck is not in neutral if the truck's computers can't read it. So just keep that in mind. That's the easiest way I could tell you from a driver's point of view, the little small steps you can do to try to save some money before you determine to go to a shop. So guys, that's pretty much what I can come up with. If you like what you saw today, pound that like button. If you guys have any silly questions or anything about the craziness in your vehicle that you've seen, guys, leave me a comment at the bottom. I want to help you figure out that crazy or silliness. Guys, subscribe. I want to send you all this crazy and silliness. It's fun stuff. See you guys around in the next video.